if we now have a deep sea port, I have just told you the agricultural sector will be boosted, the maritime activity will be boosted, import and export will be boosted. So much focus will not be only on the crude oil that we are having from Akwa Ibom State or from Nigeria now. You will be having activities happening there. Let me give you an instance. Why has U.S. become interested in Strait of Hormuz in Iran? Because that is the maritime hub of the world. And so Iran going to block the place and say no ship will pass has affected everything in the entire world. So you can see that activities going on in the seaport, can transform the economy of the world. So having a deep seaport in Akwa Ibom, it will be like you have the Strait of Hormuz in Iran. And so you can have activities going on here. So many ships would have been battered there. Those who are importing crude oil will also be battered here. Instead of betting them at a Papa Port or Tinker Port, they will just be batting here and then go and easily offload. You will have so many things. You will begin to have a depot to offload petrol and crude oil within. Activity so many things will happen. I have been to One Port. I have been to Papa Port. I have been to Tinker Port. I know how activities are going on. So much trucks. You will have trader parks. You will have so many tanker and the rest of it. Activity will just be, both in the transport sector, everything will just jack up. So for me, it will not just help in diversifying the economy, it will also bring in manpower, development. It will also bring in knowledge exchange and generate so many activities will happen that will help in transforming the life of Nigerians within and without the South-South zone. You're welcome. Okay. My name is Ochoekon Franklin Isong, the Director Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network, CRAN, whose office you are. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so we are taking a look at the Ibom deep sea ports. How would you describe this port?
The Ibom Deep Sea Port is one of the projects that was conceived in 1999 by the Obong Victor Atas administration. If you look at it, it is over how many years now? That should be 1999, over 23 years now. It's still in the pipeline. We are still discussing its reality, which has not been made possible. After Obama, we've had successive government that has come on board. We've had the government of Senator Godswill Akpabio. We've had the government of Mr. Udom Emmanuel. Now we are having the government of Pastor Omoino. The Ibom Deep Sea Port has always been reoccurring in each of the blueprints of these administrations. But unfortunately, it has remained in the realm of planning. So that is how I can describe it.
The present governor is making efforts. Recently, he's been meeting with investors and discussing with the federal government about this seaport. So we are hopeful and very optimistic. So on your own part, what would you say would be the gain when this is finally completed?
While I join you in the hopes that the government of Pastor Mono will actualize the Ibom Deep Sea Port project, I want to also add that part of why the governor defected from the political party he once belonged, the PDP, to the APC was because of the intention to actualize the Ibom Deep Sea Port. Because I remember one of his speeches that he made in the state was that he needed to join the center, the party in the center, in order to be able to lobby and get the Ibom Deep Sea Port project actualized. And so for me, we will hope that the Deep Sea Port project will be actualized so that the state will benefit immensely. Like you're asking me what will be the benefits. They are too enormous. too enormous. If you look at the master plan of the project, if you look at the blueprint, the mission of the project, you will see that one of the aims of the project will be to create employment opportunities in the state. And from my own investigations, I can tell you that if that project is actualized, it will create over 33,000 jobs for the people of Akwa Ibom State and beyond. That is the first thing. And imagine having a project that will create over 33,000 jobs for the people of the state. You will see that it would have boosted the economy of the state, and then that would have transformed the life of so many families within the South region, not only Akwa Ibom. Because if you go to Lagos, the Papa Seaport, the Tinkan Port, you will see that the entire community, the entire local government, in fact, the entire Lagos state today, the economy is boosted, the activities going on there. If you go to One Seaport in Port Harcourt, same thing happens. The activities going on there, boosting of economy and the rest of it. And so if we have the Ibom Deep Seaport actualized, employment opportunity would have been created for over 33,000 persons, and that would have, caused a very big boost for the economy of the state. And then talking about economic, talking about boosting of the economy of the state, of course, it will boost both local and foreign investors. Because imagine having a project that will attract international investors. Foreign investors will come, then people will have to, the Deep Seaport on its own will recruit workers, employment, and then those companies who are also engaging in activities there, both maritime activities and the rest of it, will also be employing. So when I mentioned that figure, it was just for the Deep Seaport on its own. But the other companies that will be working there, activities going on there, and even if you are able to sell pure water on the roadside, you will make sales. If you are selling banana on the roadside, you will make sales. Whatever you sell, you own shop, restaurant, business, whatever you do in that area, entire community would have been, boosted by the activities going on in the Deep Seaport. Of course, the Deep Seaport was planned to be a subset of the larger Ibom industrial city and the free trade zone that was marked for that area. And so having the Deep Seaport sited there, the entire area would have been engulfed with activities of the free trade zone that the federal government approved for Akwa Ibom State. And then, of course, it will also bring in, lower the cost of transportation. Those who are going into import and export, instead of, importing your goods to come and land at Tinka Port or Papa Port, it will come straight to Ibom Deep Seaport and back there, and then you just go and clear. So the whole of the south, not only south, the whole of the south, that is talking about south now, Cross River State, Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Delta, River State, Edo, would have had, a very closer seaport to, import their goods, and then from there they can also export their goods. So it would have lowered the cost of transportation, because so many goods now, when you import items like I used to import, when they land, they land at the Papa Port. You go for clearing. After the clearing, to transport those goods back again to Akwa Ibom is a cost on its own part. So having a deep sea port situated in Akwa Ibom, south region of Nigeria, will lower the cost of such kind of transportation. And then of course it will, like I said, it will boost the export for farm produce. We produce so many activities, so many things in our farmland here. To lower the cost, to simply export those things through the deep seaport, and then increase the revenue of government. Government will not only be relying on money they get from the FACT, that is the differential account committee, and what they get from the internally generated revenue. they will also be getting so much funds, so much taxes will be taken, so much revenue will be generated from the deep seaport. And then, of course, the entire state will become, will become a maritime hub. So you will see so many ships coming to bat there now. So many ships will be taking off from here and landing here. And then you will see companies coming to site a yard for building of shipyard. Then you have our people going to learn how to build ships, how to build boat, and all those things. So you can see that so many things would have come with the project. So, and they would have also helped, because there's no how you will have the deep seaport, that the power sector will not be stabilized. Government will not have interest in going into to ensure that we have steady power supply, and then we also have housing estate will be built for people who are coming to do activities there, and then the public infrastructure would have been, repaired, like roads network would have been fixed, not just only there, across the entire state. So the deep seaport would have helped in boosting the economy in so many ways.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's just look at the diversification drive of the federal government. How do you think this would also help in this direction?
That is what I just told you. Currently, Nigeria is a petrodollar, running a petrodollar economy. Everything we do revolve around crude oil, sale of crude oil. Our budget is tied to what are we going to sell at the foreign market. How much is crude oil